If you walk to the DGA, on the wall of the DGA are these black and white photos of directors directing the scene,
Hmm.
and I pray I'm up there.
Hey, everybody, this is Mike, and you're watching the Real Black podcast. And today we've got a very special guest, Philly native, good friend of mine, who is doing some major stuff in the city of Angels, in the realm of television. So, for the next half hour or so, we'll have a chance to chat with Mr. Devin Hampton, whose latest and most recent series, I'm not going to say greatest because there's so many things that you're working on, um, called Snap, premiered in December on the All Black Network. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's correct. What's up? What's up, Dennis? Man, what's going on, man? It's good to finally bust it up with you about all this stuff.
Yeah, we're a little behind on. We wanted to hit for the premiere, but the good thing about All Black is it ALLBLK? Is that how you find it?
I think there is a phonetic way of doing it. Yeah, it's right.
Is
It's
that it streams incessantly. Like once it's in the universe, it's in the universe to
it's
stay.
out. Trust me. I found out that Snap was one of the top pirated shows out
Wow.
there. Yeah. So yeah, man. It's in the universe.
So tell us about Snap.
It's a cool idea. It basically is taking a person that has a very gray area of life in a way, and gray area meaning um, in some instances they may not necessarily have pulled the trigger, but they sparked the lie to make the trigger actually pulled, right? And what happens to these folks um, if they fall into a conversation with God?
You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female.
I'm stressed. I'm barely feeding my child. Do you know how that makes me feel as a mother?
This will create anger, jealousy, and hate.
You going to jail.
You must use the dark skin slaves versus the light skin slaves.
We're all on the same team, right?
You must use the old versus the young.
You knew when my pop got locked up, you could have said something. You could have done something. You could have talked.
Don't talk about my brother like that.
There will be no line to learn from.
Your melanin is a godly gift. It can never be taken away from you. But they will constantly keep you from playing the game.
If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful of each other.
The pilot episode, um, our God, who is named Ao in every episode. There's a different God every episode. Our God is confronts a man named Adam Banks, and Adam Banks is a Republican campaign manager. And what he does is pretty much really put out and push lies and conspiracy theories so that it help push and further his person that's running that's running for president or whatever that is, and or governor. And he's constantly on say Fox News, pushing these fake agendas. And even just recently, because obviously I shot this before January 6th happened, but it makes you think about the Tucker Carlsons of the world that will go on an actual network show, a news show that's supposed to be, people are supposed to be able to trust the news.
Mm-hmm.
It's a news network, right? And there's actual, federal guidelines, right? Supposedly. So, you have this person going on the news and saying that the election was stolen and they're taking the country from you. Are you going to fight for it to get it back? And then these people show up at the Capitol, right, with guns. And this is obviously real life I'm talking about. And so, in the creative sense, it's like, okay, let's say they catch the people that showed up to the Capitol with the guns, right? Let's say they arrest the person that killed the police officer. Let's say they even, arrest the people that organized the actual gathering.
Right.
But what happens to the person that told them the lie to begin with?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, where's that person's judgment? Is there ever going to be an indictment for I'm just using Tucker as an example. Is there going to be an indictment for Tucker Carlson or the guy that does InfoWars?
Right.
Can't remember his name now, but
Alex.
will they actually go to jail for the lies and things that they spew? And so we just thought it'd be interesting if that person falls into conversation with God, if they don't get judged here, and he falls into conversation with God, how would that go? And I thought it'd be cool to have God just be all these different kinds of people that you wouldn't expect. So in the pilot episode, it's a black man. It's played by Eric Benet.
Mm-hmm.
And the second episode, which was I forgot how honestly I can't remember how they did the lineup, with the network now. They changed things as you're creating it, right? But second episode was called Human. And Human guy was a transgender.
Mm.
And the third episode was supposed to be Black Lives Matter. And in that episode, God was a black woman. And I think episode 4 was Greek to me, or supposed to be. And in that case, God was a homeless, sort of surreal, crazy, drugged out looking white man. Played by Michael Buscemi, who absolutely kills it. And fifth episode was pro-life, and God in that case could have been anyone, but it was a gun shop owner. And pro-life was a musical that I wrote.
Wow.
And created.
So you got to do a whole lot of different styles and approaches in the course of the 6th episode.
Yep. And then in the 6th episode, Ayo is played by Clifton Powell, who is like a gangster, kind of like triple OG guy. But he's spitting real game to a young black male about the importance of his melanin.
Right. That's the Willie Lynch episode.
And the gravity of that melanin. Our melanin is one of the most powerful things on this earth. It's basically almost like as important as air. And it's something that you cannot take away. It's something you can't duplicate. You can only hope that you are blessed to have it.
Right.
And it gives you so much. But that also then depicts it enrages the fear, and it enrages the differences and the hatred and all of that for those that don't have it.
Officer Huggins, sir, this is Nia Clipshin, your 3 o'clock.
Nia, ma'am, why don't you have a seat here at the desk? Would you like some water?
Yes, that would be very nice.
Pam, could you please get Miss Nia a cup of water? Nia, have a seat and let's talk about your situation.
Yes.
Where does David live? With you?
Yes, sir.
The law says that a man can't live with you if you're gonna take our help.
I don't understand. Why not, sir?
If a man lives in the house, that man should be able to provide for his family.
Well, sir, I know that if he would, he could. It has been very hard to find work up here. We thought it would be easier than the South, but...
Listen, it's not my job to find him work. It's my job to help you raise a healthy, happy baby girl.
Sir, what if we were married?
Then it'd be for sure no.
You got a lot of stuff in there. I've only seen the director's cut. I haven't seen what the
You're
broadcast
lucky.
edits did.
Because you know me. So you got the director's cut.
Yeah, and I guess
You know me personally.
let's circle
Mike.
back. I've known you for over 10 years. I think,
You actually know me. This is not like Devin made it and got a show. Let me call him. I don't know him. You knew me when I was trying to become a director. You know what I mean? Like I never
you were directing, you were making music videos.
You know this, Mike. I didn't call myself a director until like a year ago.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter what I shot. I'm very honest and I'm very real and humbled with what it is to be a director and the knowledge that it takes to actually be a director and the things you have to navigate and juggle. And so for a very long time, and you will attest to this, I would just say I work in film. What do you do? I work in film. You know what I mean? And because I didn't believe I was a director until I don't know, maybe Sanctuary.
Okay.
Which is 15 years of doing it. but
because it got accolades. Now, Sanctuary is a pilot or a short film that you made.
Short film.
Right. Well, talk a little bit about that and why that was sort of like your breakthrough moment.
So for me in Sanctuary, right? I had to Sanctuary shooting a short film in what was it, 2 days? Maybe it was 3. But shooting 30 pages in 3 days with different locations and cop scenes and raids and dealing with immigration, dealing with a very serious subject matter with a budget of what was Sanctuary? 30,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fucking filmmaker. The blessing that I have from God for sure is being able to write. And it's a blessing and a curse, right? So I can write my way into a situation. I wrote my way into Sanctuary. Sanctuary came from a very personal space where I was watching MSNBC in the morning. I just dropped Brooklyn and Jeremy off to school, and I'm back home. I'm watching MSNBC, and a little girl was on camera, and they were interviewing a little girl. She may have been 11. She was bawling, crying, and because they just arrested her father as an illegal citizen.
Wow.
In the fucking line, the parent drop-off line. And I drop my kids off every day. And just as a Black man in America, I'm not guaranteed to get home either. And it crushed me. And so thinking of this little girl and thinking of this father who was going to work, mind you, right? Dropped his daughter off and going to work, and what this country did as a human, to do that to another human, it's just so in any event, I wrote Sanctuary. I think I wrote 15 pages, sent it to Johan. He said, "This is pretty cool. What are you gonna do with it?" I don't know. I wrote a few more pages, right? And and very luckily through my man, we call him the plug, Enoch Purnell, he loved it. Was like, "Yo, I'm down to put some bread into this," and I got somebody else to put some bread into it too. And very very thankful for that investor. I'm not gonna say his name because he probably wants to say private, but very very nice man, very intelligent man. We had very long conversations, and our conversations I actually put into the script because this gentleman is a Jewish faith who voted for Trump in his first go around, and it shocked me because of all the shootings in Pittsburgh and in New York and things like that, different synagogues, and that's just like, why? and he talked about the finances initially, and how that impacted him and taxes, things like that. And I don't know if this gentleman had buyer's remorse because of that, because of all of the terrible uh
Things.
crazy, terrible things that have happened to our Jewish brothers and sisters since this whole rise of Trump,
Right.
and all the anti-Semitic, signs and burning of whatever's, and it's just fucking horrendous. It's fucking terrible. I don't know if he's had Jewish buyer's remorse in that, but he's not alone, because I know a few folks that I love, that voted for Trump, and I also know African American men who I also, again, close with, have had conversations with in barbershops that were like, well, what are the Democrats doing for us? And this is real conversation. It's a real thing, right? You can say I have a black mayor, I have a black councilman, black this, black that, and everything still sucks
Right.
for the black man, right? And that's a very real argument. How can you right? And so you start having these discussions. And so I ended up basing Sanctuary in a small town America during Trump's campaign. And so that's what the pilot is based on. And it's based on a Latina family that is living in this community, which having a good life. They have a nice craftsman house. The husband has a great job. Kids are in school. Wife was staying home just to raise the kids, but she's a chef. But to go back to it, right? They're chilling in this small town, and all of a sudden everything is around them is changed. The feeling is changed. They're looked at with this hatred, just going to the corner store, right? And I'm very thankful that Louis Guzman has come on as a producer with me, and Simi Guzman as well, with their company, Dark Rabbit, and me being signed to Color Creative. We're going to get it made, which is dope, for a network show. And yeah, so but Sanctuary, shooting that short film, John Michael Hill, and that entire cast, I feel like it's like family. Family.
So it's always
incredible.
when you wrote the short, it was always intention to make it into a series, you think? Or okay.
Yeah, it's how the investors wanted his money back.
Okay.
Gotta sell it. It is film business at the end of the day. But yeah, so that's Sanctuary. And then so that's when I felt like a director. Shooting that with Isaac, like that team, so me, Isaac, Fabio, and Zuck. We click very, very, very well. And we understand each other very well. And we're very hard on each other. And in particular, me, Isaac, and Zuck, we're very hard on each other. Oh my God. If you could be a fly on the wall in these rooms. But I hold Isaac and Zuck to a very high level of accountability. And they hold me to that. They have to trust me as a director, they have to trust me as a filmmaker to, do my part, to be all that I can, for this particular creative. Because once I'm directing, I'm not a writer anymore. Writer Devin is completely different from director Devin, completely different people altogether. And, directing and producing are two different things and as a writing. So as a filmmaker, I have to be on point. And our prep work that we do before we shoot is, to some people, probably insane. We walk through every fucking step, every time, everything, every angle, every lens, every possibility, and I throw a lot of shit at Isaac, a lot. I want to shoot inverted. I want to get a rolling, swivel head. And I want to shoot, see what I mean? Like I need to follow somebody jumping out of this window. I need to follow them doing it. You know what I mean? Like I throw everything at Isaac, and I hold him accountable for it, and he holds me accountable for the execution of it as well. So
love it. So So Sanctuary leads to Snap, or they're happening
It
simultaneously?
did. It did. Sanctuary was so dope. Eric Benet was like, "Hey man, this is something together." I'm like, "Okay."
Okay.
And he's signed to Primary Wave. Luckily, through a different film I was going to do with them, called Legend. I got to know Ramon pretty well. Ramon's the Christ, what is his title? Ramon's really high up. It's Larry Mestel, then there's Ramon. Like, he's that high, you know what I mean,
Okay.
in the company at Primary Wave. And he's also responsible for the money too. But Ramon is kind of like overseeing a lot of their film stuff. They're switching out from just music publishing into film. And Ramon and I got cool. And so I wrote the treatment for Snap. Ramon dug it. And then during the script process, I actually was bouncing ideas off with him and Isaac. And Ramon, initially was like, "Hey, this is too much like Brett Kavanaugh. Change that. This is too much like this." Because I was too heavy-handed. And even Johan would say that. You need to. I want the gray area, but you got to stay in the gray area. You can't
Right.
lead. You can't lead the viewer to what you think, to what you believe. And that's one of the best lessons I've learned as a writer. Also, going through that process from them. And yeah, then we shot Snap independently, kept the team intact. You know what I mean? Only person missing was Jeff. I don't know why Jeff wasn't there. I can't remember why Jeff was there. But no, Isaac, Zuck, Fabio, and shot it in the snow in the Poconos. Again, just a phenomenal, incredible cast. We do wish that Eric Benet prepared for it. Had to cut some things down because he didn't necessarily. Please, actors, do know if you want to be an actor, as much prep as the film and crew team are doing, you have to prep as well too. But the show's out. The show's out. So
That's fair.
No justice, no peace.
Oh my God! What is that? I didn't mean to hit you like that, but it's like you ran into my car. I'm kind of in between insurances right now. Can we not call the police? Are you gonna shoot me? No. Where you going now? My name is Keisha. Okay, so how this normally goes is I introduce myself, you introduce yourself, I say my name, you say your name, and you are?
Jake.
Okay, G.I. Joe. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Jake, you got some hey.
This doesn't have to be the end for you. You can change it.
What am I supposed to do?
You have to be willing to cut out the root of the hate.
And that was the good thing about Snap, was that it did get me to the next level. So I can't, discard that part of it. It did give me my own show. I did show run. I did write 5 out of 6 episodes, directed 4 out of 6. I mean, I did a lot.
That's what I was getting at. When you called me, I was like, "Oh wow!" Like how do you even write, produce, and direct all this stuff?
You don't sleep,
and then
Mike.
get it.
That's what it is. You don't sleep. There's no sleeping and way too much liquor. That's the problem. But if it's not liquor, it's coffee. But no, I mean, you just, again, Isaac, I cannot stress to you the importance of having your DP also be your partner in crime.
Gotcha.
Isaac and I are friends outside of work. We talk about our personal lives all the time, and we give each other advice, on a personal level. And those that know me, they know Isaac. You know what I mean? And he really is like a little brother. We're just super tight. And then I can't stress the importance of Zuck, because when during times Isaac and I are filming something and we're like, okay, Zuck will do this in post. Zuck's gonna do that. And Zuck's mind is crazy. Zuck is like meeting the Beastie Boys, like in the bubble, right? Like he was the first Jewish kid I knew with the sleeve arm tattoo, and is hip hop, Brooklyn, Harlem, you know what I mean? He's like he's in your face, right? And he has a personality that can rub a lot of people the wrong way. He's very blunt, does not sugarcoat shit. If I fuck up a scene, he's gonna say, Devin, you fucked up the scene. And so I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I gotta be perfect. I don't want to hear Zuck's mouth. And Johan's the same way. Johan rips my shit apart. And trust me, I rip his apart too. We can't wait until the other person to fuck up. But if they do a good job, tell them that too. Johan crushed Chernobyl. I couldn't front
teamwork to make the dream work, basically.
Teamwork makes the dream work. And you have to have people that you trust. They're creative. I trust Isaac. I trust Zuck. I trust Johan. I don't agree with any of them all the time either. Hence the arguments. We go back and forth. We don't agree on everything. There's certain things that Johan and I will debate for on an hour. And I don't give a fuck what awards you have. If I think what you're saying is not on point, I'm gonna dispute it. And Johan had a year where he literally won every fucking award. BAFTA, Golden Globes, Emmy. I mean, he got the whole thing in 1 year.
Wow.
I was happy for him. I know that when I do a certain project, I'm not gonna say what it is, I'm gonna beat him. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, I love Chernobyl, but at the same time, fuck Chernobyl. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm gonna crush it. And I know what I have in my back pocket to do it.
Okay.
And he knows it. He knows what the project is. I talked to him about it. I said, ooh, that's pretty good. Yeah, no shit. And you have to have that kind of, camaraderie. You have to have a fight in you. You have to, Adam is cool with Zuckerman. He's cool with he's a great fucking director. He just did The Whale.
Darren Aronofsky.
Yes, he did The Fighter too.
Yeah, Darren
awesome
Aronofsky.
Director. I get down with Darren, and I would literally bring Darren up just to fuck with Johan. Right? Like, and but no, Darren's dope, and Darren's producer actually watched the pilot episode of Snap and was giving us notes. Like, you need that community, man. If you want to be one of the best, you have to be around the best. And you have to get notes from them. And you have to push yourself to not necessarily be equal to. You want to be the best. I want to. I don't want to leave this game, my dying bed, not being compared to Scorsese, Spielberg, Darren, Ron Howard, Scorsese. I want to be compared to Spike. I'm gonna give Singleton. Yeah. You know what I mean? Antoine Fuqua, who I fucking love. I only met him once, and we hung out. And I never forget it on 4th Street in LA, and he's so cool, and so intelligent. Like, I want to be one of the best. And there's, trust me, I'm missing, and I apologize. Some female directors are fucking amazing too. Right. I'm blanking right now. The amazing director that did Zero Dark 30, and like, she fucking, like, Zero Dark 30 is the shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Catherine Bigelow.
Yes. Oh, she's a beast, bro. So like, oh, yeah. I want to be in that conversation.
Appreciate you. All right, Dev. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Appreciate you, Mike. I'm sorry to talk your head off for an hour.
No, we got an hour, and it's good catching up too. So, all right. Thank you.
Same. Send me that script you got. I'm gonna read it.
You better give me a fry. I paid for those fries with my 63 cents on a dollar. Playing with me. Okay, G.I. God, Joe. Not so serious after all. I like it.
Well, it's quite the ironic situation we find ourselves in.
Uninsured driver hits a minor in possession of a firearm, and clearly he did not have the money to buy it.